What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more NBA news to, of course, be talking about with you guys. Some very, very odd news that I didn't expect to come out at this time, but it certainly has, with it now currently being reported that the Cleveland Cavaliers have major interest in three-time All-Star Donovan Mitchell. Again, a couple of you guys have actually texted me about this, which is really funny to see because, I think we're all really interested to see what happens here. And this is all being reported by John Gambadoro. I'm not sure. Now, a couple of people have kind of gone on to question this source. I've never really heard a whole lot of reports from this guy. It is a little bit of a weird one, but then a couple days later, after this guy was actually reporting about this, there were a couple other Cleveland reporters that came out as well and said that the Cavs were interested. And I definitely feel like Cleveland.com are really digging into this and are preparing, like myself, to make a full article or whatnot on this, kind of report, because it was a low-key one that a lot of people were like, hold on a second, I don't know about this. And then it ended up being really right, and now we've got Donovan Mitchell reports saying that he could very well be on his way to Cleveland. Now, I did actually see a mock trade that did say what would be going on here and what would the trade look like if he was to go to Cleveland. So I will get into that before I say whether or not I think this will happen or whether or not I think we'll be interested, this and that. But there was actually a trade report that did say the Cavs would trade up Caris LeVert, Isaac Okoro, and 3 first-round picks to get Donovan Mitchell. And I can solely say, extremely confident, that if the Cavaliers offered that up to the Utah Jazz, they would spit in our face, probably punch us, in the balls, run away, and we'd just stand there crying because we've looked like idiots. That is, I think, even before the trade market was broken with Minnesota trading for Rudy Gobert, I still think that's a pretty bad trade, especially from a Utah Jazz point of view. Now, again, it is being said that the Knicks offered up Fournier, Obi Toppin, and 5 first-round picks and were denied. Now, yes, Obi Toppin and Caris LeVert are probably better, I think, prospects than what Fournier and, of course, Toppin are. They're probably more valued in the NBA. So, yes, I do think that would be a very interesting situation. Although I do genuinely believe the Jazz are going to want at least 1 or 2 more first-round picks from the Cleveland Cavaliers. And, of course, I think the main one that the Cavaliers would probably offer that wasn't included in this mock trade would, of course, be Colin Sexton. I genuinely believe the Cavaliers would move Colin Sexton if something like this happened. I also feel like the Cavaliers would be willing to give up another first if it meant keeping Caris LeVert, because I genuinely believe they are going to want Caris LeVert off the bench. So if you were to ask me, the Cavaliers, what they would have to offer, I genuinely believe we would probably have to offer Colin Sexton on a sign and trade, Isaac Okoro, 4 unprotected first-round picks, and probably 2 first-round pick swaps. And again, I think that gets the deal done, especially considering that Rudy Gobert was, I think, 4 first-round picks and a couple of role players. You would think Donovan Mitchell would be a little bit more than that. So I would say, again, 4 first-round picks, 2 pick swaps, and, of course, a young player in Isaac Okoro and Colin Sexton. This would be a win-win for both teams. Let's get into that real quick. It would, of course, be a win-win for both teams. Now, would the Cavaliers actually do this trade, though? I genuinely believe they probably would. I don't think people realize how much of an upgrade Donovan Mitchell is than who we have at the starting 2 at the moment, which is Isaac Okoro. Donovan Mitchell will average you another 15 points per game, probably more than what Isaac Okoro will. And I think the ball movement would be 10 times more fluid. The 3-point shooting would be way better. You would add another shot creator on the team that players would have to double. And then, of course, there's the reality of, look, you do lose a fair bit of defense, but at the same time, the Cavaliers always have some defensive stuff going on off that bench, especially with a Chai Gbaji who they recently drafted. Again, not only does this trade make so many players better because of the ball movement and three-point shooting. But you're also making bench players like a Chai Agbaji much better now that he doesn't have, a Colin Sexton or Isaac Okoro to compete minutes with. Now, the reality is as well, this is a major win-win, again, not only for us, but for the Utah Jazz. The reason I say this is because they get a really young guard in Colin Sexton, who would immediately start at, I think, the 2 for them. Then they bring in Isaac Okoro as well, who would probably start at the 3. Again, I think they're going to want Conley to start next season, just so they can build his trade value up and whatnot. So yeah, that would be a major thing for the Utah Jazz as well. But if you're the Cavaliers, my God, would this be this trade would probably set you up into being a championship contender. Like right now, I think the Cavaliers are probably a 6th seed or so, 5th or 6th seed. That would do pretty good in the playoffs, I think. Hopefully I'm not wrong on that. I think from what we saw with the Cavs last season, that's what they should get up to. And then, of course, if you were to bring in Donovan Mitchell, you'd probably become like a 4th or 3rd seed that could definitely maybe contend for the championship. Again, that team looks really good. At the 1, you'd have Darius Garland. At the 2, you would have Donovan Mitchell. At the 3, you'd have Larry Markkinen. At the 4, you'd have Evan Mobley. And at the 5, you would have Jarrett Allen. The only thing that's maybe bad about that starting 5 is perimeter defense. But at the end of the day, you literally I think you make up for it just by having such great interior defense. And I still think Larry Markkinen, even though he's not a great perimeter guy, you've still got Donovan Mitchell and Garland, who might be undersized, but can still do some good. And look, if you're getting killed on the perimeter during games, you've then got 2 great backup perimeter defending guards in Ricky Rubio and Chai Agbaji, who can just come in straight away. So not only do you have a great starting 5 in Garland, Mitchell, Markkinen, Mobley, and Allen, you would then off the bench, you would have Rubio at the point off the bench. At the 2, you'd have Agbaji. At the 3, you'd have Lamar Stevens. 4, you'd have Dan Wade. And at the 5, you would, of course, have Robin Lopez. Really, really good bench. And then Karis LeVert, who I completely just forgot to mention, would still be there as your shot creator off the bench as well. I mean, it's a terrific team. It is a legitimate, terrific team that you would think could one day win the NBA championship. It would be really good if the Cavaliers, I think, did it. Will they explore a move like this? I also 100% think they will. I don't think they really want to keep Colin Sexton. They've offered him a 3-year, $40 million deal. As we know, he hasn't accepted that. And I think a team like the Utah Jazz would be willing to maybe offer him a $20 million per season type of deal, which is kind of what he is wanting and I think kind of waiting for. So this could definitely play out and take a very long time. I mean, the reality is the New York Knicks are not offering anything better than, I think, 5 first-round picks and Toppin and Fournier at the moment. I definitely think the Knicks would way rather the 4 first-round picks, Okoro, Colin Sexton, and 2 pick swaps. I think that would be a 10 times better deal for them. I'm sure they're still waiting to see if they can get another team to maybe come in and, throw something big at them. But for now, it just doesn't seem like that is going to be happening. So I'm not exactly too sure. I do think the Cavaliers should maybe pull the trigger. Yes, you won't have that many trade assets for a bit, but at the end of the day, I mean, you lose the first round picks, this and that, but you've got a core that you think can take you to a championship, and I honestly believe that team genuinely could. That team it could have 4 All-Stars in that starting 5. That's how good it is. Plus a really good role player at the 3, and then of course you'd have 2 6-man of the year, 3 6-man of the year candidates off that bench in Karis LeVert, Kevin Love, and Ricky Rubio. It'd just be absolutely insane in my opinion. That's another player I forgot to mention when I was talking about the team. I think K-Love, just completely forgot to mention Kevin Love as well. Ridiculous. So yeah, talking about the starting 5, the bench, you'd have Rubio, Agbaji, LeVert, Kevin Love, Robin Lopez, Stevens, Dean Wade, Dylan Windler, and I think Raul Neto as well. Jeez, terrific 14-man rotation right there, and I'm still probably forgetting someone at the end of the day. So yeah, great team. Should the Cavaliers make this trade? Probably. Will it happen? I'm not exactly too sure. The New York Knicks still seem to be in a pretty good decision. But you know what? Definitely would really like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. Do you guys think the Cavs should, of course, trade for Donovan Mitchell, or do you guys think they shouldn't? Definitely let me know. Go subscribe to my gaming channel, my IRL /long channel, and my podcast as well. All of them will be getting linked in the description down below. But as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.